In October 2001, a company was dying. Not slowly, not quietly, it was collapsing in real time in front of the entire world. Employees watched the stock ticker. Every hour lower, every morning worse. 20,000 people, billions in retirement savings, a future they had believed in, gone. The company was called Enron, and just 12 months earlier it had been named America's most innovative company for the 6th consecutive year. This is not a story about greed. Greed is too simple. This is a story about what happens when brilliant men convince themselves and an entire country that reality is optional. Enron was born in 1985 from the merger of two natural gas pipeline companies in Houston, Texas. Unremarkable, boring even. But under Kenneth Lay, a man with a PhD in economics and deep political connections, Enron had bigger ambitions. His idea was radical. What if energy could be traded like stocks? What if natural gas, electricity, broadband, anything could become a financial instrument? In the early 1990s, that idea was revolutionary, and it worked. Enron grew fast. By 1996, Fortune named them America's most innovative company. They would hold that title for 6 straight years. To understand the collapse, you have to understand the people. Kenneth Lay was the visionary, the public face, charming, connected, and by all accounts liked. But Lay had one critical weakness. He didn't want to hear bad news, and everyone around him learned that quickly. Then there was Jeffrey Skilling. Skilling was a McKinsey consultant, brilliant, aggressive, and convinced that Enron shouldn't be an energy company. It should be a trading company, a bank, an idea. He believed the world was divided into 2 types of people: those smart enough to keep up, and those who weren't. He built a culture around that belief. Every year, the bottom 15% of performers were fired. Not managed, fired. They called it rank and yank. In that environment, admitting a problem was career suicide. And that, more than any accounting trick, is what truly destroyed Enron. But the tricks mattered too. Enron used an accounting method called mark-to-market. When they signed a long-term contract, they could immediately book the estimated total profit as current revenue. Not when the money arrived, but today. The estimates were made by Enron, reviewed by Enron, and approved by their auditor, Arthur Andersen, who was also collecting hundreds of millions in consulting fees from the same company. The incentive to ask hard questions was zero. To hide the growing debt behind this fictional revenue, Enron created hundreds of shell companies called special purpose entities, names like Raptor, Condor, Jedi. Their only purpose: absorb losses and keep them off the balance sheet. For years it worked. In March 2001, a journalist named Bethany McLean published a short article in Fortune magazine. The title, "Is Enron Overpriced?" She asked one question no analyst was asking: how exactly does Enron make its money? She couldn't find the answer in the public filings. Skilling called her personally and told her she was unethical. The stock barely moved. But inside Enron, something was already breaking. In August 2001, Vice President Sharon Watkins sent an anonymous memo to Kenneth Lay. "I am incredibly nervous," she wrote, "that we will implode in a wave of accounting scandals." Nothing changed. October 16, 2001, Enron announces a $618 million loss. October 22nd, the stock drops 20% in a single day. November 8th, Enron restates 5 years of earnings, $586 million in profits. That never existed. November 28th, credit agencies downgrade the debt to junk. The stock falls below $1. December 2nd, 2001, Enron files for bankruptcy. Less than 7 weeks. The largest corporate bankruptcy in American history. 20,000 people lost their jobs. Thousands lost their entire retirement savings. Locked in Enron stock they couldn't sell, while executives had already cashed out millions. Kenneth Lay was convicted of fraud. He died before sentencing. Jeffrey Skilling received 24 years. He served 12. Arthur Anderson, one of the 5 largest accounting firms in the world, was convicted of obstruction of justice and ceased to exist. But here is what stays with you. None of this was hidden. The warning signs were in the public filings. The questions were asked. The answers were evasive. And yet, analysts kept buying. Banks kept lending. A country kept believing. Enron didn't just fool the regulators. It fooled everyone who wanted to be fooled. And that is perhaps the most uncomfortable part of this story, because it raises a question we still haven't answered. What are we choosing not to see today?